The lights at the Silver Moon Diner were buzzing. You know, that sound that the Silver Moon Diner lights always make. Emma Carlyle was used to it. She had worked the shift at the Silver Moon Diner for a long time. It was Tuesday. It was 2:47 a.m. The Silver Moon Diner was almost empty. There was a truck driver at the counter. He was drinking his cup of coffee. Then there was a college student in booth 7. She was sleeping on her books at the Silver Moon Diner. Emma wiped down the counter again. It was already clean. She did it for the 3rd time that hour. Her mind kept thinking about the bills on her kitchen table. Her brother Tommy needed treatments. The insurance company said no to their claim. They always said no. Emma tried to forget about it, smiled when the bell above the door rang. She had to smile because someone was coming in. Emma thought about Tommy and the medical bills again. She wished the insurance company would help her family pay for his treatments. The man who walked in took all the air from her lungs. She felt like she could not breathe when the man walked in. The man just walked in. He stole the air from her lungs. This man was really tall. He had hair that went down to the back of his neck and eyes that were so light they looked like silver. The suit he wore was very expensive. It was clear that it was made for him. It fit him perfectly. He was a guy. The thing that really caught Emma's attention was not how rich he seemed to be. It was the way he walked into the diner, like an animal that was hunting for something. He moved in a quiet way like a cat. The diner was a noisy place, but he seemed to belong there anyway. Adrian Blackwood did not need to eat. It had been over 300 years since he needed food. Some things you just do because you always did them. When you live forever like Adrian Blackwood, old habits are really hard to break. He was driving home from a meeting that went late. Then he saw the diner's bright sign, and something made him stop. Now he is standing in the doorway of the diner. He knows why he came in. The diner had something that caught Adrian Blackwood's attention. The waitress behind the counter looked up at him with warmth. This was not the kind of interest he usually saw. The waitress had honey hair that was pulled back in a messy ponytail. There were coffee stains on the waitress's uniform. When the waitress smiled, it was a beautiful smile. The waitress's smile was completely natural. It really lit up her face. For the time in decades, Adrian felt something stir in his chest. This was something that felt like curiosity to him. It was a feeling that Adrian had not felt for a long time, and it was a little scary. Adrian was not used to feeling curious about things. The feeling of curiosity was something that was dangerously close to taking over. Adrian felt it in his chest. It was a strange feeling for him. Emma picked up a menu, walked over to him. Her sneakers made a noise on the old floor. When she got close, she saw that his skin was really pale. It looked shiny under the bright lights. Emma thought he was probably some guy who made his money from computers and never went outside in the sun. He just looked like that kind of person, like a tech billionaire or something. "Welcome to Silver Moon. Are you going to sit somewhere special? Is the counter okay for you?" Her voice was really nice and funny, which made Adrian want to smile a little. "Counter is fine." His voice was smooth, cultured, with an accent she could not quite place. Old money definitely. Emma put the menu down, got out her order pad as he sat on a stool. She said, "I want to let you know that the person cooking your food is also the person who washes the dishes, and he only knows how to use the grill. So you should not expect much from the food that the dishwasher who is cooking is going to make. The dishwasher who is cooking is doing his best. The food from the dishwasher who is cooking may not be great." Adrian looked at the menu. He was not really paying attention to it. He asked the person, "What food do you think I should order from the menu?" "The coffee is okay, I think. The pie is from yesterday, which is actually a thing at a diner. This means the crust is softer now." She leaned in close. "Between you and me, the other food is a risk for your stomach." A real laugh came out of Adrian before he could stop it. The sound really surprised him. When was the last time Adrian had a laugh? Pie, then. "I will trust your expertise about coffee and pie." As Emma turned to pour the coffee, Adrian looked at her reflection in the mirror behind the counter. She was a being, a mortal person, completely ordinary. There was something special about Emma. The way Emma carried herself was really something. Emma had been through times, but she did not let those tough times get her down. There was a strength in Emma that came from dealing with hardship and still managing to stay positive. He could hear her heartbeat, was steady and strong. The smell of vanilla lotion filled the air, the kind she used every day. He could also smell the exhaustion. It was faint. It was there, it clung to her like a bad habit. After 300 years of doing things like feeding on people who were desperate and people who were doomed in dark alleys where no one could see, and being around others like him who thought humans were nothing but food, this small act of kindness from her felt like a big change. It felt like something entirely new, like a revolution. A kindness revolution from the vampire world he knew. The world of vampires, like him. Emma put the coffee and pie down. She saw that he was looking at her. "Is everything okay?" she asked him, feeling a little weird because he was staring at her like that. Adrian looked down at the pie. He said yes. Then he thought to himself, the pie in front of him was nice, but this is not the kind of place he normally goes to. Adrian said, "I was just thinking, this is not my environment." "The people who are out at 3 a.m. in the morning usually do not wear Italian suits," Emma said. She filled up the truck driver's coffee cup without him having to say anything. "Business must be keeping you awake until late." "At night, or is it that you just cannot sleep?" Emma asked the truck driver. Adrian said both, which was really true. He had not slept like a person since 1723. Are you working at night because you want to, or because you have to?" Emma hesitated for a moment. Then she decided that being honest was the thing to do. "I do this because of necessity," she said. "The tips I get from working at night are really good. I can do my other jobs during the day. I have some family things that I need to take care of. This schedule works out well for me and my family. The overnight tips are what make it worth it. I can handle my family stuff during the day." Adrian took a sip of his coffee. It did not taste very good to him. It tasted like ash. He did it anyway because he needed something to do with his hands. "That sounds really exhausting," he said, talking about the coffee and how he was feeling the thing. "With the coffee, it was all just really exhausting." Emma said, "It is what it is." She shrugged her shoulders. He noticed that her shoulders fell down a bit when she did that. Emma said, "We all do what we have to do, right? And that is the way it is." Ash. With the things that people do. Some people do things without smiling. Not everyone does it with a smile. You see people doing things, they do not look happy about it. Emma really looked at him then. She really looked at Adrian. He felt like she could see right through him, which was pretty weird. Then Emma saw something in Adrian's face, and her face changed. She did not look so tough anymore. "Smiling does not cost anything," Adrian said. "And sometimes it is the thing that reminds me I am still Adrian, you know? Not just all the things I have to pay for or all the things that worry me. Adrian." Yes. The words hit Adrian right in the chest. They really cut deep. For a long time, Adrian had been pretending to be someone else, putting on a big show as the boss of his company, being the vampire that everyone was afraid of, being the one that nobody could get close to. He had gotten so used to it that he forgot what it was. Like for people to actually see him, to see Adrian. Not the Lord or the CEO, just him. The college student in the booth. Emma got up to see how she was doing. Emma went over to her, woke her up gently. She told the college student that she should go home and get some sleep. Emma sounded really worried about the college student. That is all. Adrian saw all of this, and he watched as Emma helped the college student. Emma was being very kind. To the college student, when Emma got back, she saw Adrian looking at the pie that was still untouched. Not what you thought it would be. He said that he was not really feeling like eating. The people he met were really nice, though, so it was a trip. He thought the company was great. The company made the visit worthwhile. Emma felt warmth rise in her cheeks. She said, "You are a talker. Let me guess. You use your charm to get what you want in business deals. With the companies you work with, like you do with people, the business deals." Adrian pulled out his wallet. He took out some money. He gave the person a lot of bills, more than the coffee and pie cost. "Keep the change," he said to the person. Adrian was being very generous with the coffee and pie money. Emma's eyes got really big when she saw the amount. "Sir, this is too much," she said. "He said that we should think of it as an investment in quality service." He got up from his seat. Emma couldn't help but notice his height again. He was really tall. It seemed like he took up all the space around him. "What time does your shift at work come to an end?" he asked Emma. 6 a.m. Why? Adrian should have just walked away. He should have gone back to his penthouse. Forgotten all about the waitress. She was really kind. Had the most beautiful smile, but her eyes looked so tired. Adrian had been alone for a long time, 300 years to be exact, and that made him do crazy things. He asked her, "Do you work tomorrow night?" "Every night this week. Told me that he would see me tomorrow." Emma. When he said the name Emma, it was like he was really enjoying the sound of it. She looked at me. Said, "How did you know my name?" Then she glanced down at the name tag that had her name on it. She started laughing. "Right," she said with a smile. "You were really observant," she said, still looking at the name tag that said her name. As Adrian walked toward the door, Emma called after him. "Hey, I did not catch your name," she said to Adrian. Adrian turned around to face Emma. "My name is Adrian," Adrian said to Emma. He stopped, one hand on the door. Turned around to look at Emma. The lights in the room made shadows on his face, which made him look really strange. For a second, Emma thought his eyes looked like an animal's eyes. They were reflecting the light in a way. The fluorescent lights were shining down on him, making his face look spooky. Emma looked at him at the man, and she felt a little weird. The man's eyes were looking back at her. Adrian. Then he was gone. He disappeared into the darkness before it was morning. Emma did not see him go because she was tired and busy counting the amount of money that people had given her as a thank you. The money was a lot. It made her happy. She was so focused on counting it that she did not even notice that he was gone. He had moved fast, which is not something that people can usually do. Adrian stood in the shadows across the street. He was watching Emma through the diner windows. She was still working her shift. Adrian saw everything. He saw the way Emma touched her pocket. That is where she had put the money. Emma looked relieved and grateful. He saw her smile at the few customers. Even though Emma was tired, she was still smiling. Adrian could hear that her heartbeat was faster because she was exhausted. He noticed that Emma was really tired. Adrian watched as Emma kept working at the diner. The man realized that he really wanted to go the next night. He felt this way strongly, and it was starting to worry him. The thought of returning to that place tomorrow night was all he could think about. Adrian Blackwood built something big over 300 years. He got a lot of money, a lot of power, and people looked up to him. This would make a king feel bad, I think. Adrian Blackwood had done some things to a lot of people he fought in wars with other vampires and people. In the supernatural world, were really scared of him. Adrian Blackwood was one of the feared vampires around. He was standing in that alley. He saw a waitress cleaning tables in a diner that was really old and beat up. This made him feel something that he had not felt in a long time, 300 years to be exact. The human waitress and the rundown diner together made him feel this way. The man felt really alive. And that, Adrian knew, was the most dangerous feeling of all. Adrian went back to the Silver Moon Diner every night that week. He always got there, between 2 and 3 in the morning. This was when it was not so busy. Emma had some time to talk to him. Adrian would order a cup of coffee. He would not drink it. He would also order a slice of pie. He would not eat it. The thing he really wanted was to hear what Emma had to say. He wanted to hear her laugh and listen to her when she sighed because she was tired. Adrian liked listening to Emma at the Silver Moon Diner. Emma couldn't. Look at the door when she was working. She was waiting for Adrian to come in. She really wanted to see him. That surprised her. There was something about Adrian that drew people to him. It was not just because he had a lot of money and looked really good. When Emma talked to him, he paid attention to what she said. He really listened to her. He made her feel like what she was saying was very important. Whether she was telling him about the people she dealt with at work or about her brother's latest trip to the doctor, Adrian listened carefully. He made Emma feel like her stories were the important things in the world. Emma liked talking to Adrian about her brother and the people she met at work. Adrian was a listener, and that meant a lot to Emma. Tommy is 12 years old, Emma said one night. She sat down in the booth across from Adrian while she was on her break. Tommy has been really sick for 2 years now. The doctors are helping him with treatments. They are working. These treatments cost a lot of money. Emma just wants to keep Tommy going until he's strong enough for the surgery that he needs. Tommy has to be strong for the surgery to work. Adrian's jaw got really tight. To him, money was not a deal, but for Emma, it was everything because it could save her brother's life. You work 3 jobs for that man. I would work 10 hours a day if I had to. Emma's voice was really fierce and protective. He is all I have left of my family. Our parents died in a car accident 4 years ago. I remember that day clearly. I promised them that I would take care of my brother, and I intend to keep that promise. My brother is all that matters to me. I will do whatever it takes to make sure he is okay. The need to help her with her problems was really strong. Adrian could easily write a check to pay for all of her bills, all of her debts, and everything that was worrying her. He knew that if he did that, it would change the way things were between Adrian and her, and it would bring up questions that Adrian did not know how to answer, and it would also bring up obligations that Adrian did not know if he could handle, obligations that Adrian did not think he could fulfill regarding her problems and Adrian's relationship with her. He reached across the table, put his hand on top of Emma's hand. Emma took a breath when his hand touched hers. His hand was really cold. It felt like ice. She looked at me, said, "I am really cold." She then asked me if the weather is affecting my health or if I am feeling okay. She seemed worried about my condition and the fact that I am freezing. Adrian pulled his hand back fast. He said, "I have circulation. It is a condition that runs in my family." Over the few nights, Emma started to notice some weird things about Adrian. He never actually ate his food, he just pushed it around his plate. His skin was always cold. It never got warm like a person's skin. Adrian never looked tired. He never got sleepy. He did not blink often like other people do. Sometimes when the light hit his eyes in a way, Emma saw that his eyes seemed to shine from the inside. This was really strange. Emma kept seeing this. It was very odd. Adrian's eyes would glow a bit when the light was just right. This guy was really weird. What was even weirder was the way he made her feel. She felt safe when he was around. He made her feel protected too. It was like nothing bad could happen to her when he was near. The woman felt like she was as long as he was there with her. She felt safe with him, like he would keep her from getting hurt. On Thursday night, that feeling really did turn out to be right. Emma's shift ended at 6. She was walking to the bus stop. It was still really dark outside. The sun had not come up yet. The light was gray. That is when 3 men came out of an alley. You could tell what they wanted by the way they were smiling at Emma. It was a smile. The 3 men stood around her. They were on all sides of Emma. That made her feel scared. The 3 men and their actions were really scary for Emma. One of them looked at her. Said, "You have some nice tips for tonight, do you not, sweetheart?" He was eyeing her purse. Emma's heart was beating fast as she took steps back, but she was stuck because there was no place to go. She started to open her mouth to yell for help when Adrian showed up out of nowhere, standing between her and the men. In a split second, it was like magic. He said, "Leave." His voice sounded different now. It was deeper. You could feel the weight of his words. They were full of a power that made the air feel funny. The authority in his voice was really old. It made the air vibrate when he spoke. He said, "Leave." You could tell he meant it. The big man reached for Adrian. Then something happened fast. Adrian moved quickly like he was a shadow. His hand came out, grabbed the man's wrist. It made a cracking sound and the man screamed. He fell to his knees. The largest man screamed because Adrian had grabbed his wrist. Adrian was very fast, like liquid. The man did not expect that. The other 2 ran. Adrian turned to Emma. She looked at him, saw that his eyes were not pale gray like they usually were. Now they were burning crimson. The color reminded her of the rising sun. It was not a nice, warm light. It was a light. Adrian's lips were pulled back. She could see his teeth. They were really sharp and really long. Emma thought to herself that Adrian's teeth were too sharp and too long to be the teeth of a being. Adrian's teeth looked scary. Emma felt a little afraid of Adrian. The rising sun was shining on Adrian's face. It was reflecting off his crimson eyes. Everything was normal again. Almost normal, as the things around him looked like they were supposed to, but the feeling that something was off stayed with the scene. And that was what made it not quite normal, the scene with the man and the things. Around him, the normal things were not really normal. The man was still feeling that. Something was wrong, so everything was almost normal. He asked her if she was hurt. His voice was really soft and kind, which was surprising because she had just seen something bad happen. Emma was really scared and shaking. She had her back pressed against the brick wall. She said, "What are you?" Adrian closed his eyes. The control he had worked hard to keep for a very long time was all gone in a second. Adrian said, "I should go." "No, Emma." She was surprised by how strong her voice sounded. "You cannot just save my life, then go away." "What is going on with you, Adrian? You have to tell me something." "I mean, who are you, Adrian, to do something like that for me?" He looked at Emma, then really looked at Emma, and Emma saw the sadness. In his eyes, the burden of a lot of years and being alone all the time. "I am very old, Emma. I am very dangerous." Emma said that this man was also the person to come into her diner. In a very long time, like 5 whole years, Emma took a step towards the man. She was being careful. The man's eyes just changed to red. Emma noticed this. It was weird. "Yes. You moved fast, faster than any person normally can. You were moving quickly. It was like you were not even human. The way you moved was really amazing, like something I have never seen before with the eye." "Yes. Are you going to hurt me?" "I do not think that is something the person I am talking to would do. The person I am talking to is supposed to help people like the person who is asking this question. So I think the person who is asking this question should not be worried about the person they are talking to hurting them. The person they are talking to is here to assist the person who is asking this question." Adrian's face. He looked like he was hurting. "Never," he said. "I would rather do something bad to myself, like walk outside in the sun, than do anything to hurt you." Adrian said this because he really did not want to, because Adrian any harm? Emma did not get what that statement meant. She knew it was true. Her mind was telling her to get out of there, to call the police, to do something. Her heart was saying something else. It was saying, stay with this man. Emma had been feeling something for this man for the week. He was weird. He was also really kind. So her heart was telling her to stay with him, even though her mind was scared. Emma was stuck. She did not know what to do. Her heart and mind were saying things about this man, and she did not know which one to listen to. "Show me," she whispered quietly to him. "I want you to show me what the thing you really are is." Adrian hesitated for a moment. Then he slowly let the mask slip away from him. The color of his eyes changed to a crimson. His teeth grew into fangs. His skin was already very pale. Now it became even paler, like the color of white marble. The air around him felt heavy because Adrian was giving off a feeling of power. The power that was coming from Adrian made the air feel thick and hard to breathe. Emma really should have screamed. She should have run away from him. What did she do? She reached up, touched his face. Her hand was warm. It was against his cold cheek. Emma touched his face with her hand, and that was a pretty strange thing for her to do. The woman said, "Vampire," quietly. "Yes." Adrian's voice was rough with emotion. "I am sorry." "What are you talking about? Are you saying I should be sorry for being the person I'm, or for making you have feelings for me?" "Both. I really do not know anymore." He put his hand on top of Emma's hand. "It has been 300 years, Emma. We are talking about 300 years of darkness. Then you smiled at me when we were having a cup of coffee. That is when I remembered what it felt like to be a human being, Emma. You made me feel like a human being again, Emma." Emma's eyes got all teary. She said, "Adrian." The sun came up over the horizon. Adrian suddenly hissed in pain. Smoke started rising from his skin where it was exposed. Emma did not think about what she was doing. She just took off her jacket, put it over Adrian's head and hands. This was because she wanted to help the man. The sun was hurting Adrian. She told him to go. He really needed to go before things got worse. Go now, she said, before it gets even worse. Adrian looked at the woman one time. She was a woman who had just found out what Adrian was. She still stood there protecting Adrian from the sun. Adrian said, "Tomorrow night, please. Let me explain everything about this to you." Emma. Then Adrian was gone, disappearing into the dark shadows of the alley. She was standing by herself on the empty street. Her jacket was still smoking a little in her hands. Her mind was really confused. She had just found out that vampires are real. The man she really liked was an old vampire, over 300 years old. He was a predator. Everything she thought she knew about the world was not true. The vampires were real. The man she liked was one of them. And despite all of that, all she could think about was seeing him again. Emma did not sleep that day. She was sitting in her apartment watching Tommy play video games in the living room. Emma was trying to figure out how the monster from all the stories could be the person as Tommy, who always listened to her dreams and worries with so much care. Emma thought about this a lot because Tommy was really good at listening to her, and he was very gentle when she talked to him about things that bothered her. When the night fell, she was already sitting at the diner. This was an hour before her shift was supposed to start. She was just waiting. Adrian showed up the moment the sun went down, walking through the door. Slowly, like he thought people would not want him there. Emma pointed to the booth they always sat in. He sat down across from her. He kept the table between them like it was something that could protect him. "I was born in 1697, Adrian said away. "I came into this world in London. Something big happened to me during a work trip too. It's Paris in 1723. A vampire changed me because she thought I would be a person to have in her group. I was not what she thought. I did not like being a vampire. I did not like her. So I killed her and every single person in her family within 5 years. I got rid of all the vampires that were related to her. The vampire who changed me was. So were all the people she had changed. I killed all of them because of what they did to me. The vampires in her group were all dead because of me, Adrian." Emma listened. She had her hands wrapped around a cup of coffee because it was giving her some warmth. The coffee was helping to keep her hands warm. Emma was holding the cup of coffee tightly. "I have been around for a long time building things up and then breaking them down. The world has changed much, but I have stayed the same. I have done some things, Emma. I have hurt a lot of people, bad people, but that does not make it okay. The vampires are often seen as monsters, and I am a vampire, so I am a monster too, Emma. I am a monster. By any definition, a creature that people fear and do not understand. A monster." Emma asked this softly. "Are you a monster right now?" Adrian looked into her eyes. At this moment, Adrian is a man who's really scared of losing the only real thing Adrian has found in 300 years. "Do you really want to hurt me? That is a mean thing to do. I do not think that is very nice." "Why would you want to hurt me? What did I do to you?" "I just want to know why you want to hurt me." "No, never. Do you think of me as something to eat?" Adrian's face screwed up in a way like he was going to be sick. "You are not something to eat, Emma," he said. "You are all the things in life like warmth and happiness. You are the opposite of what I am, Emma. I mean, you are alive and full of life. That is what makes you so different from me, Emma." Emma was really quiet for a bit, thinking about things. Then she asked what she really wanted to know. "Why me? Why do you keep coming to my diner every night? When you smiled at me, I felt like you really saw me as a person. You did not see me as someone with power or wealth or someone who is dangerous. You saw me as someone who was all alone at 3 a.m. and maybe needed someone to be nice to me and have a cup of coffee with me." Adrian's voice was very emotional. "Do you know how often someone is truly kind to me without wanting anything in return? True kindness without any reason is very rare. You have been by yourself for a long time, Adrian. It is starting to show. Being alone for that long is not good for the person, Adrian. 300 years too long." Emma reached across the table. She offered her hand to Adrian. He waited for a moment. Then Adrian took Emma's hand. His fingers were really cold. They wrapped around Emma's warm fingers. Emma said, "This is insane." In a quiet voice, completely. "You are a vampire." "Yes, and I am a waitress with a mountain of debt and a sick brother." "Yes, I really do not think this is going to work. This thing is just not going to work. The idea that this will work is crazy. I am telling you this will not work. Adrian's grip got a little tighter. I know. Emma and the other person sat in silence. They had their hands clasped across the table. The situation they were in was really impossible. It was a difficult situation for Emma and the other person. Then Emma's phone buzzed. She got a text message from Tommy's doctor. The doctor said that the surgery for Tommy was scheduled. It was going to happen in 3 weeks. When Emma saw the cost of the surgery, she felt like her stomach was dropping. The cost of Tommy's surgery was a lot. Adrian saw her face change. He asked her, "What is wrong with you?" Adrian really wanted to know what was bothering her. Adrian looked at her, said, "You look upset. What is wrong?" Emma showed him the message. She was too tired and overwhelmed to hide it. "It is fine," Emma said. "I will figure out the message. I always figure out these things. Want to help you with that? I can do something for you. Let me help." "No, Emma." She pulled her hand back. "I do not want to be one of those people who thinks you are the answer to their problems. This is not what the relationship between you and me is about. I see you. I think that you are a person and not a solution to my problems. The relationship between you and me is not that simple." "What is this, Emma?" She looked at him, this tough guy who was not like any other guy, and said something that scared her a lot. "I think I am falling in love with him, this man." She felt weird saying that because he was not a person, but she had to be honest about her feelings. For this impossible man. Adrian closed his eyes because what Emma said really hurt him. He said, "You should not do that." "I am death, Emma. Everything that I touch will die someday." "Everyone is going to die, Adrian. That is something that happens to people." She got up from her seat. "I have to go to work. Will you stay here with me, Adrian?" "Always." The next 2 weeks were much the same. Adrian came over every night. They would talk about all sorts of things. He would tell her about all the things he'd seen over the centuries, like the wars and the revolutions and all the new technology that came out. Adrian had lived through a lot of centuries. He had a lot of stories to share. She would tell Adrian about how Tommy was getting better, her dream of one day having her restaurant, the little things that people want that are really important. To them, Adrian. She would talk about everything and nothing at the same time. Darkness was a really scary thing. The darkness was going to change everything. I could feel that the darkness was coming. It was not going to be good. On the night Adrian came to the place, and he was not by himself. Emma knew something was different away. She saw the way Adrian kept looking at the windows. She saw the tension in Adrian's shoulders. When Emma's work was over, Adrian was waiting for her outside. Adrian's face looked very serious. He just came out. Said it. "There are others, like me," he said. "My kind of people. They know about you. They think they can use you to get to me. They see you as a way to get leverage against me." Emma's blood ran cold. She asked herself what these people wanted from her. What did they want from Emma? "I am in control. I have a lot of power in the world, and they want to use you to control me." Adrian's hands became fists. "I will not let them hurt you. The vampires want to use you to get to me. I will not let that happen." Adrian's hands stayed clenched, showing how strongly he felt about protecting me from the vampires. "I have power in the world, and they know it. That is why they want to use you to manipulate me. How can we stop these people? We really need to stop them. I do not know what to do to stop them. We do not do this." "I do." Adrian put his hands on her face. They were really cold. "I am going to make this stop, Emma. If something bad happens to me, I want you to know that there is a special envelope in your locker at the diner. This envelope has all the money and information you will need to help Tommy get the surgery he needs. It is all taken care of. Nobody can trace it back to you. The money is legal. It is all yours, Emma." Adrian. "No, I have been in the dark for a long time, Emma. You showed me the light. Now I want to keep that light safe, Emma. I want to protect the light that you gave me, Emma." He kissed her at that moment, the one and only time his lips touched her lips. His mouth felt cold when it touched hers. The feeling behind the kiss was stronger than any warm sun. The kiss from him was a moment for the kiss from him and her. The man was there. Then the man was gone. Emma did not see Adrian for 3 days. Those were 3 long days of being scared and waiting and thinking about all the bad things that could have happened to Adrian. Then on the night, Adrian walked into the diner and he was covered in blood, but it was not Adrian's blood. He looked very tired. He also looked like he had won something, like he was very happy that everything was over. The man said, "It is done." He said this in a way. Emma ran to him. She did not care about the blood or the shocked looks from the customers. "Are you okay?" She asked him. "I am now." 6 months went by. Emma decided to leave her 3 jobs. This was not because Adrian had given her some money, even though he had tried to do that. The real reason Emma quit her jobs was that Adrian believed in her dream of opening a restaurant. He put his money into her restaurant, became a silent partner. Around the time Tommy had to have surgery, and it was a success. The money for the surgery was given by someone who did not want their name known. Emma was pretty sure that the money came from Adrian. She could not prove it. Emma knew that Adrian had helped her and the people she cared about, like Tommy in a way. The restaurant was Emma's dream. Adrian was now a part of it. They made something together, a human. This is a deal because vampires are supposed to be about death and humans are about life. Vampires like the dark and humans like the light. The vampire showed the human that scary creatures can love. The human showed the vampire that love is what makes life good. The vampire and the human proved that love can happen between different people. The vampire learned from the human that love is what makes life worth living. The human learned from the vampire that love can come from places. The vampire and the human are an example of how love can bring people together. Every night. At 2:47 a.m., Adrian would go into the restaurant where Emma worked. She was the manager. Emma would smile at Adrian. She smiled at him in the way she did on their first night. To Emma, Adrian was not a vampire or the CEO of a company. He was a man who needed to be treated with kindness. Adrian needed kindness from Emma. Some love stories are complicated by distance or circumstance. Love stories like these can be really tough. The distance between 2 people or the situation they are in can make things very difficult for the love stories. This happens to a lot of love stories. Their situation was complicated because they were immortal. Immortality itself made things really tough for them, but they made it work.